What's up, everyone? I'm back. I had to take a couple weeks off. It's always good to come back before, excuse me, it's always good to return after taking a break. You need that, it's good for your mental state. Today's topic will be wheelchair transportation. That's a big one. Even though it looks like it's something that has been accomplished in many ways, there's still a lot to resolve in that area of wheelchair transportation. Not everybody is independently able to transfer from a wheelchair to a car. And that's a big problem. Sometimes it takes 2 to 3 or 4 people just to lift the individual from their wheelchair to a car. Even though there's vehicles that have wheelchair ramps installed, it can still be a hassle. Because let's say you don't face the problem when transferring the person, but you face the issue when it's time to roll in or roll out the wheelchair with the ramp. That was easy, right? Could be easy, could be difficult at times. If it's just you by yourself with the individual, if it's just you two, that can be a bit more challenging. But that's not really the obstacle. The obstacle is when the curbs are not properly designed and you have to maneuver a certain way just so you can reach as much as flat ground for the individual to not tilt in their wheelchair. You understand what I'm saying? I do not use a wheelchair in certain areas when going out because the concrete is not always wheelchair friendly. I have to get there using a walker, relying on my upper body strength to hold myself up, to be able to maneuver around the concrete, just because the wheelchair won't be able to, because the concrete is unsafe. It's broken because the tree has grown a lot and is taking over the concrete underneath, and it's dividing the concrete or breaking it apart somehow, so it creates an open trench, or it creates a ditch, or it creates a slanted curb. So it's very, very dangerous. So there's times where I can't move with the wheelchair. I have to use a walker or figure something else out just to get me from a messed up area to be able to get somewhere. This is something that has to be resolved, not just where I'm at, but in a lot of areas, because I'm a strong believer in being as much as possible safe, just to be independent or just to get a fresh air of the day, or just to go get ice cream down the block with the caregiver, for example. But even the caregiver or the person assisting the individual who is handicapped is having a hard time just because the concrete is jammed up because the city or state hasn't physically, excuse me, hasn't gone out there and take a quick look and do a real deep inspection of what's going on. And even if you write letters, call them up, send them pictures, they still don't get on the game and resolve the issue that needs to be solved. That's a huge bother to me. That needs to get immediately taken care of. So, to those who have or are watching my videos, thank you first of all. But if you work or help a person in a wheelchair with crutches, with a walker, whatever mobility device they use to get around, I need you to help them bring their voice up to speak to the right people so the right people can get the problems in the community taken care of. Because you, as someone who may use a bike, a two-wheeler bike, may use a bird scooter, may use a Waymo, may use Lyft, Uber, whatever you use, or your own personal car, you don't think about this. And you, probably being a caregiver, may or may not think about that. Most likely you do, but you don't speak on it. So please do that person the favor of, once you see my video, voice these issues. I'm voicing these issues so someone can wake up in the internet world and spread this mistake and bring awareness not only to the communities I'm in, but to the outside communities in New York, Arizona, wherever. You know, a lot of places have elevators installed. They have wheelchair ramps installed. But there's something always not fully right. Something about it is always about to fall apart. And I'm not saying that life must be perfect. No, it's not. But we can make our community surroundings more safe than what they look like, but really they're not. We need to do that. That's not fair for me or you. Because you, as an able body, if you walk and your shoe gets stuck on the curb because the concrete is falling apart because a tree is growing underneath that piece of concrete, guess what? You can fall on your face, and I'm not saying this as a joke. You can fall on your face and knock your teeth out. So why would you want to knock your teeth out? It's better to lose one tooth than lose all of them. But if you speak up and avoid that physical accident, you won't have to go through that physical hurt because you spoke up. You know, I really want to help the deafly able community. I'm only one voice and one man, but I can give you a lot of game that will wake you up, and game that you can spread awareness about and share with the world. Once you give them my point of view, you can share it, and they'll wake up and share my point of view to many others. It passes on. Communication, whether you're verbal or nonverbal and still communicate with sign language, communication can be passed on one way or another. And even if they uh, shut you up and don't want you to talk in a room, guess what? You can still talk with writing on paper, typing a text on your phone. If I have technology devices, I'm gonna use them best as I can to help bring awareness to the community and to you and to whoever needs to hear this. I'll thank myself once these goals are met on my end, and I'll thank you once you helped reach these goals. This is important. Caregivers live off of this. They eat because they take care of people. They take care of people who have different label challenges. And we survive because they help us. Or however people help us. They don't have to be caregivers, but I just use that as the best example. But I'm speaking to people in general, differently abled or not differently abled, able body or not able body. We can all help each other out if we stay communicating our needs more than our wants. This is not a want. This is a need. It's an urgent need. We need to make curbs, intersections, and traffic more safe and resolve issues around that to avoid tragedies, to avoid physically getting hurt, to avoid whatever we have to avoid, to not get hurt. And I strongly believe that one day, sooner or later, we'll come together or not come together and work individually to make better arrangements, have better communication, and build better and safer community needs and projects. Like getting rid of a staircase that makes you go all the way up, but only with a staircase and no elevator. Let's make everything equal for everybody, and let's make buildings equal for everybody. If somebody walks, okay, they can run up the stairs. But if someone wants to get up there and have the same entertainment level as someone who went up there independently with running, all right, well, let's install an elevator that in a place that doesn't have an elevator. Let's make that possible so that individual or that group of people can be and feel more welcomed and entertained. You know, let's do that. Everything's possible except stopping yourself from death and controlling something that's not in your control. But if you can voice it and reach this goal of communicating certain needs that are obstacles to you as a caregiver or to you as being the legal guardian of the individual or just being a differently abled individual, because not everybody's handicapped physically. A lot of people walk and still have different labeled challenges. So let's make it fair for them too. I'm only one man and one voice, like I said earlier. But if I can communicate these needs and wishes. You can communicate them too. And it will become a big chain of people. And we'll get something done. Just because we made our voices heard. Thank you. It was great seeing you. And I'll see you guys on the next run. Take care. Stay safe.